and he made his first appearance yesterday. Kyrie in Dallas, first time as a Maverick, as we're seeing him, and he spoke on his time in Brooklyn. Let's take a listen.
The reporting and the journalism that was going to come out of why I left, I knew that was going to be speculation. But for me personally, just sitting in the seat today, I just know I want to be places where I'm celebrated and not just tolerated or just, kind of dealt with in a way that doesn't make me feel respected. And there were times throughout this process when I was in Brooklyn where I felt very disrespected.
Isn't disrespect a two-way road? That's an interesting comment. Eddie, he broke up with you, so how are you feeling? You're just one of many.
Kyrie handled the presser in ways that I expect he would. He said a lot, but he said a little. And he tried to keep it cordial, kind of couldn't help himself. And then he talks about Kevin and how they, set out to achieve certain things and didn't accomplish everything, but had a great time and all that stuff. But, what else is he going to say at this point? Unless he's going to do scorched earth, he's going to have to try to play the middle ground a little bit. I think that's what he did. I think he's happy to be in a new team. I think, it was interesting he said he's not talking contract stuff until the summer because apparently that was the issue in Brooklyn. But it's all whatever. I want to see him on the court. I want to be entertained by, that roster and what they can do going forward. And the press conference is the press conference. He had to finally face the media. It's one of the reasons why I was almost positive he was never going to play the game last Saturday, because if he had to play for the Nets and then talk about the Nets to the Nets media after very publicly asking out, we've already seen them keep him away from media before. I just didn't think it was going to happen. Look, he said all the stuff he had to say. Whether he was disrespected or not, I think there's a good argument that he was, but there's also a good argument that, he's complicit in the disrespect as well. So it's frustrating all around. I think it's even frustrating for him, but, soon we'll be back at basketball and can watch that.
Yeah, I think the disrespect comment's going to rub a bunch of people the wrong way, because then you ask yourself, well, how exactly did you respect your teammates? Or throw away the front office. Who cares what your relationship? But like your teammates, dude, you quit on your teammates a bunch of times, Chandler. He also mentioned that his work ethic is underrated. How did you receive that?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever questioned anything about his on-the-court production, about his work ethic. You don't get handles like Kyrie Irving. You don't get an offensive game like Kyrie Irving without working extremely hard. I don't think anyone's ever questioned that. And he knew, when this trade happened, he knew he was going to have to discuss these things, and he knew he was going to have to kind of recap everything that he's went through. He's now dealing with a new organization. He's dealing with new media. Like Eddie said, he kind of said a little, but he said a lot, and he's disrespected, and he's frustrated, and he stands by who he is, and that's why he apologized for the whole anti-Semitic things. He knew he was going to get these questions, and you can just tell he's kind of over it. He's frustrated. He wants to just move on. He wants to just play basketball and have a fresh start. So hopefully that's his mindset going forward. Listen, he addressed the media exactly how we thought Kyrie was going to address the media. He's there to play basketball. He's there to help Luka Doncic. He's there to win games for them. And that's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to keep his head down and play basketball, dominate, play exactly how you're playing in Brooklyn. Just be a good dude, be a good teammate, be a leader, help these young guys, do whatever you can for the next 3 months. Because as much as the Dallas Mavericks want this to work out for him, he's auditioning for them too. And then whatever you say, he wants to get paid. And Dallas is really the only option for him to get paid now if this works, because if this doesn't work, no way a team is taking another flyer on him after another team. So he's found himself in an interesting situation, and I do think it's perfect fit. I think the guys that he has with Nico and his relationship with Michael Finley, with Mark, guys like Dirk, they have a lot of guys. They have the best sports psychiatrist, DK, who's going to definitely be listening to him and letting him vent. And like he said, he wants to be seen. He wants to be heard. He wants to be celebrated, not tolerated. This is who he is. And I think the Mavs have the resources to get the best out of Kyrie Irving. And again, it's a dice roll for both. If Kyrie doesn't behave, he's not getting paid from anybody else. And if he doesn't, then the Dallas Mavericks just made a really, really bad trade if he walks in 3 months. So it's kind of an open-ended situation, and you can't really ever know what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving.
The biggest thing here is he's getting a fresh slate. And I think that's what Mark Cuban, Nico Harrison, Jason Kidd, that's what they bring him. There was just so much toxicity, so much that went on. And like Eddie said, for sure, it's both sides. Both sides are going to be, at fault at the end of the day. But I think when you look at this situation, to an extent, but I think when you look at the situation, when you think about the contract extension from last summer, those talks, the extension talks recently, the tweet link, there's a lot that I think principally, and I think the conversations that were had where, yes, Kyrie Irving did feel disrespected, but again, on the other side, it's, were you available? Were you around all the time? So both sides, I think are probably better off moving on and moving to different paths. And now Kyrie Irving gets a clean slate with a new organization, different culture, different energy, different vibe, different co-star. And I think everything, it sounds like everything in Dallas right now is on the up and up and very, very positive.
Only time will tell. We're going to get to the Sham scoop here in a second. Before we do, though, I wanted you to hear what Pat Beverly said on his latest podcast about our teammate.
Yeah, Sham's been on his ass. Like, Sham's been bringing out shit like quicker, faster. The look of it looks better. Then Woj will just come with like one Woj bomb that'll be like 4 Shams in one. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So like they got a little